Welcome to Mystic Musings with Toby Hewitt. I'm Toby Hewitt, and I'm your guide through time and space and all points in between. Mystic Musings will give you insight into who you are, why you are here, how to live an authentic life, and where you fit into the universe around you. Join me on this path of mystical exploration. Welcome to episode 50 of Mystic Musings with Toby Hewitt. This week, we will examine suicide as we continue our mystic journey. I sometimes think, especially when the stressors build and I lose my focus on the here and now, that it would be very pleasant to take a life vacation, to travel to the spiritual realms, have some tea with friends and teachers, take a bit of a rest, and then return refreshed and replenished back to my physical experience. Unfortunately, this is not all that simple, and not particularly practical, nor in keeping with the full intent and purpose of being spiritual beings having a physical experience. When I give evidential psychic readings, I am usually aware when a spirit on the other side has committed suicide. They stand further back than other spirits do, and they seem intent on not communicating with me until I call them out on why they are there in the spirit realm and not here in the physical. There seems in most cases that the person who chooses suicide exudes vibrations that are not in keeping with others with whom I speak. I think part of this has to do with a sense of sorrow and shame for how they transitioned. When someone leaves this life in this manner, they do so because of impetus from the ego, the consciousness of the physical person, and not from the spirit, which is always aware that whatever is happening in their life, it is because of a larger plan of learning necessary for growth during the current incarnation. Often, the physical client I am serving is filled with deep remorse that they were unable to stop this loved one from ending their life prematurely. When even abiding compassion, empathy, and love are given freely to the person contemplating ending their physical existence, and the event still yet occurs, the person or people left behind must realize that the ego of the deceased person was unable to resist the desire to leave. When I talk with the spirit on the other side, there is always a sense of remorse for having ended their life. They invariably show me how they ended it, and when I share this information with the client, it is confirmed and serves as evidence that their loved one has survived that transition. But at the same time, that person already realizes that whatever relief they sought was momentary, and their spiritual awareness has kicked in, and they know they have to come back and go through the same events and challenges that led to their departure from this life. The reason we are here on the earth plane is to learn lessons that can only be learned as physical beings facing the challenges of having a body, which is controlled by the ego, and the simultaneous need to surmount the difficulties presented while, it is hoped, remembering this is temporary and they are, first and foremost, spirits. Sometimes people are plagued by elementals trying to make their lives uncomfortable and urging the demise of the person. These elementals, energies that have never experienced an incarnation, thrive on the negative energies experienced by the tormented and fear-filled person. At the time of their passing at their own hands, the elementals suck in all the negative energies associated with this, and the transition is made all the more uncomfortable by this. When we become more aware of negative energies trying to influence our actions, we need to take appropriate measures to stop this intrusion on our lives. Simple measures can be taken, such as salt baths and smudging with sage, which can definitely remove these entities from our proximity. sometimes these being attached to us because of psychological and or stress issues we are experiencing. Then it helps to seek the guidance and healing of one who not only understands the psychological aspects of the person suffering from disease, but also, it would be hoped, recognize, if these are present, the negative energies and help to remove them from attachment to the person. Ancient people would seek out the help of shamans, whose modern-day counterparts still are trained to be aware of the different levels of vibrational entities and can help detach these from the person. Frustration, stress, depression, etc. are challenges that are present as we traverse this physical existence. They are part of the lessons that we are here to learn. Overcoming these challenges is indeed a part of our growth, and surmounting these assures the best manner of having a successful incarnation that will end at the time our spirit, in conjunction with other spirits, plan for it to end, so that we could transition back to the spirit realm knowing we have learned the lessons we sought for in this incarnation. When interacting with the spirit who has left their current life prematurely, I always try foremost to be compassionate and loving, but we both know that this transition was, in fact, an error in judgment. Indeed, they are very sorry for what they did and apologize repeatedly to the person I am sitting with, and interestingly enough, also to me. They know that this moment is temporary and that they will need to return to learn the lessons they were avoiding in the moment of passing. There is no other judgment or punishment, just recognition by the spirit of its error and a commitment to returning and trying again. It is like dropping out of college and then realizing we did not learn what we wanted or needed to learn. In the end, the lessons are necessary for the plan we have as aspects of the creative spirit. Each and every one of us is part of this plan, and acknowledging this can help to fortify us in our darkest moments, as does reaching out to the wider positive energies, such as guides and angels, and asking them for help. In turn, they can embrace and heal us through the energy of love. The exercise for this week is to take the time to be aware of yourself as a spiritual being having a physical experience, and acknowledge the lessons and challenges you and those around you are facing. If you cannot deal with these challenges alone, seek out the help of others, including professionals trained in helping to overcome the discomforts you are facing. Also, be aware of those around you who are also facing these challenges and offer them compassion, empathy, understanding, and love. We are all in this together, and it is very much time we stand up and act in the light of this truth. Please join me next week for episode 51, when we examine the concept that we are all one as we continue our mystic journey. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mystic Musings. Please join me every week to continue our exploration of all things mystical that can help you have a more practical and magical life. Please visit my website, tobiehewitt.com, for more information and to read my blog postings. And join me also at pathwaystomindfulness.org to learn how you can schedule a presentation. I'm available for mindfulness training, demonstrations of psychic abilities, and individual readings. I also have a number of books on mystical topics on Amazon.com. I look forward to hearing from you and answering your questions. Please contact me through TobieHewitt.com.